So, a few people have asked recently on the forums and on Facebook and things about how difficult it is to actually use the Speeduino firmware, whether they need any coding experience or anything like that. And whilst it is true that the firmware is distributed as source code rather than just a binary file, I wanted to make a video showing just how easy it is to get it compiled and up and running on an Arduino. So in this video, I'm going to run through the simplest and fastest method of getting the source code compiled and uploaded from a completely blank slate. The whole process only takes a couple of minutes from end to end and doesn't require you to mess around with any libraries, changes of code, or anything else like that. As a starting point, I've downloaded the Arduino Ide Installer as well as the current monthly Speeduino firmware bundle. There's a link for both of these in the video description, and in almost all cases I'd recommend to download the latest stable version of the Arduino Ide and of the firmware. The first step is to install the Arduino Ide, just leaving all the default options checked. This will take a few minutes and you'll likely get a few prompts along the way asking you to install some of the drivers. Make sure you click install for all of these, as without them you may run into some troubles uploading the firmware. Once the install is complete, you can verify the Arduino Ide is working by finding it in the Start menu and opening it up. The first time you'll start, you'll likely get a prompt just asking you to allow the program to access the internet to check for updates and things. By default, a simple demonstration sketch will be open in the Arduino Ide, and you can safely just leave this in the background for now. At this point, just switch back to the directory where you've downloaded the Speeduino firmware and unzip the file. You'll get a folder created from this called Speeduino. Open this up and then open the folder underneath that, also called Speeduino. In that list of files, you'll find one called speeduino.ino. Simply double click to open this file. Again, this will appear in the Arduino Ide, but this time instead of the blank sketch, you'll see all the Speeduino files. Don't be intimidated by all of the code that you see there. Unless you want to get into the coding and modification, you don't need to make any changes to this at all. Before the code can be uploaded, you just need to tell the IDE which board you're using. So go up to the Tools menu, Boards, and then select the option for Mega 2560. Once you've done this, you're ready to compile or upload the firmware. In the top left corner, you'll see two buttons. The one with the tick will compile the code, and the one with the arrow will both compile and upload the firmware if you have an Arduino attached. It'll take about 20 to 25 seconds to upload to the board, and then you're all set to connect with Tuner Studio. And that's going to form part of an upcoming video that I'll be releasing shortly. So that's all it takes to compile and install the Speeduino firmware. No coding, no modification, no extensive programming experience necessary. Just a few clicks and you're up and running. Thanks for watching.